ask Twitter which Sixers roster will be better, the 2017-18 Sixers or the Sixers for the upcoming 2020-21 NBA season. You can answer this based on stats, eye test, potential, preference, whatever you want. Over 70% of you were right, and the rest of you, man, I don't know. I'm just playing, there's no right answer yet, but I'm going to tell you why I think the Sixers for the 2020-21 NBA season will be better than the Sixers from 3 years ago. Come on, man, hang out, let's talk. It all starts with three-point shooting. This literally dictates almost everything the Sixers can do offensively. In 2017, the Sixers as a team almost made 1,000 threes, and they ranked 12th in the NBA. They had 4 players rostered that made enough threes to rank top 50 in the entire league. Robert Covington made over 200 threes that season, good for 11th in the NBA, and JJ Redick made close to 200, also top 15. The other two, Dario Saric and Marco Bellinelli, made close to around 150 threes that season. Although JJ Redick was the only one to register a three-point percentage that was good for top 15 in the league, the Sixers ranked 10th for three-point percentage, and all 4 of them shot over 36% from 3. Their strong suit was really the catch-and-shoot 3, which is the perfect complement to Ben and the big dog. As a team, they made the second most catch-and-shoot threes in the NBA, and Robert Covington, Dario Saric, and JJ Redick made enough to rank 1st, 7th, and 15th respectively. In 2019, the Sixers made 711 catch-and-shoot threes, much less than the 2017 total, but they ranked 4th in the NBA. But if you subtract Al Horford and Josh Richardson's catch-and-shoot totals from this season, and add Seth Curry and Danny Green's catch-and-shoot totals, they would have come 28 threes shy of their 2017 total. You remember the confetti game, right? Anyway, hypothetically, with Curry and Green's three-point catch-and-shoot totals added, the Sixers would have also had the most catch-and-shoot threes made this season and the second best catch-and-shoot three-point percentage. And if you want to talk ranks, look at Curry, man. He shot over 48% on catch-and-shoot threes in 3 of his past 4 seasons, good for 2nd, 1st, and 3rd in the league. Danny Green, too, one of the most consistent 3-ball shooters in the NBA, shot 36% or higher on threes in 8 of his 9 seasons. Just 2 seasons ago, he made 172 catch-and-shoot threes and shot almost 48% on them. Both him and Curry are marksmen, but even sniper Shake Milton made 43% of his threes last year, which ranks 1st of 53 players with 1,000 or less minutes and 100 plus three-pointers attempted. So what can this shooting do for their half-court offense? Stay with me. Since 2015, Philadelphia was one of the most dribble handoff happy teams in the league, and they were productive there too. In that 5-year span, their 2 most notable seasons came in 2017 and 18, where they ranked 4th and 1st in handoff points scored. But then, in 2019, they ranked 15th in handoff points scored and possessions with a handoff. This is a significant regression, and especially strange considering that Josh Richardson was a top 5 scorer in dribble handoffs for 2 seasons prior to Philadelphia. But with refined shooting this season, I'd anticipate Philadelphia makes a huge leap in handoff production. And with Ben handling and acting as a screener at 6'10", it's almost unguardable defensively. One constant in Brett Brown's offense, or lack thereof, was a complete lack of pick and roll. JJ Redick and TJ McConnell weren't bad there either. In fact, both posted a top 30 field goal percentage in the pick and roll of 100 plus players to attempt 100 shots. But Philadelphia was bottom 5 in pick and roll possessions, field goals attempted in the pick and roll points scored in 2016, 17, 18, and 19. This year will be different though. Shake Milton shot 50% on field goals attempted in the pick and roll, which is tied for 5th highest in the NBA among 136 players with 90 or more possessions there. Last season, Seth Curry attempted more field goals in the pick and roll than almost 40% combined of the Sixers 2017 roster. Doc Rivers is going to amp up the pick and rolls in Philadelphia's offense, and rightfully so. The Sixers have a multitude of ball handlers and screeners. Seth Curry ranked top 10 twice for field goal percentage in the pick and roll in his past 3 seasons. Another wrinkle I'd love to see Doc Rivers implement, besides Joel setting screens for Ben is Ben setting screens for a secondary ball handler. Brett Brown temporarily tried it with Richardson as a ball handler, but Simmons screening for Maxey, Milton, or Curry could be way more useful for the Sixers. And because we're talking about screens, the Sixers now have plenty of options to run off of them. In 2017, they were top 10 in the NBA for frequency of field goals attempted off of screens and points scored off of screens. But last season, they fell to bottom 10 in the league for field goals attempted off the screen. Rivers could scheme a heavy dose of pin downs, which would generate amazing looks for Danny Green, Seth Curry, and even Furkan Korkmaz. With much less congestion offensively, you can see Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons dominate in the half court similar to how they did 3 years ago. With a spaced out floor that season, Simmons drove to the basket the third most times in the NBA. But to no surprise, his amount of drives have decreased every season since, to a point where his total in 2019 was half of his 2017 total. Right on par, the Sixers have been bottom 10 in drives and driving field goals attempted in the past 2 years, whereas the Clippers have ranked top 10 2 times in the past 3 seasons under Doc Rivers. This foreshadows to me that Doc is going to optimize Ben's skill set, and he'll have a season similar to 2017 in terms of drives. If there's shooters on the floor with Ben Simmons that have gravitational pull, and the defense is relegated to playing him one-on-one, there's virtually no match for him in the open court or the half court. Outside of Embiid and Simmons, though, only 2 Sixers drove to the basket more than 200 times in 2017. TJ McConnell and the homie Dario. But last season, Seth Curry and Shake Milton drove to the basket each over 200 times. Not only that, but in 2019, Seth Curry and Shake Milton combined for more field goals attempted and assists off of drives than JJ Redick and Robert Covington did in 2017. You've got Tobias Harris and the addition of Tyrese Maxey, which means that the Sixers will already have more guys that can score at multiple levels and in different ways than they did 3 years ago. And let's look at Joe a little bit, who I'd argue is the most dominant big man in the NBA. The reason that argument may have lost traction in recent years is because the number of Embiid post-ups and field goals attempted from the post have decreased every year since 2017. In 2017, Embiid had 27 games with 15 or more post-ups, and the Sixers went 17-10. In 2018, he had 8 games with 15 or more post-ups, and the Sixers went 6-2 in those games. Last season, Embiid only had 5 games with 15 or more post-ups, and the Sixers went undefeated in those 5 games. In all of those seasons with 15 or more post-ups, Embiid averaged 26, 32, and 33 points per game on nearly 50+% shooting from the field. Since 2016, Embiid leads the entire NBA in free throws attempted from the post, and he's second in points scored there. With shooters around him and enough room to work, Embiid only has 2 or 3 matches in the NBA defensively. It's tough for a team to pack the paint when Seth Curry, Danny Green, Shake Milton, maybe Tyrese Maxey, Isaiah Joe, or even Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz are around the perimeter. And vice versa, if a team does double or pack the paint, the Sixers now have a ton of valid shooters that'll make them pay. The Sixers even grabbed a backup center that'll perfectly complement Joel Embiid, and they got him for the veteran minimum. Dwight Howard has ranked top 10 in the NBA for field goal percentage in 5 of his last 7 full seasons. He's a seasoned veteran, an NBA champion, an absolute dog on the boards that can generate second chance looks. He's skilled as a roll man and a defensive anchor, which the 2017 Sixers didn't have off the bench. And we haven't even talked about arguably the biggest move in the Sixers offseason this year. Get rid of this goofball. Dan Burke is a brilliant attention-to-detail coach, and Popeye Jones is a former player that played in one of the toughest big men eras in the game. Popeye Jones also played under or worked under Doug Collins, Frank Vogel, Avery Johnson, and Nate McMillan. Dave Yeager is also a good defensive mind that had the opportunity to coach Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph. And Doc Rivers comes with Sam Cassell, 2 basketball geniuses that will work to override some of the constants that haunted the Sixers under Brett Brown. Alright man, that does it for me. I've got plenty more coming, so keep an eye out. As always, I'll see you when I see you. And remember, don't forget, stay solid, baby.